All right, Brian, you said there's bad reception right now. Okay, let me see if I can adjust. You all will bear with me.
Okay, Brian, let me know if this is better. Okay, perfect. So sorry about that. And then let me get rid of this echo that I've got here. And then we'll get started. Okay, great. Thank you so much for your patience. And I will still have you out of here by 10:30. All right, great. Okay. All right, so welcome again to Volunteer Connect. Quick basics. I will have you out of here quickly. Just want to real quickly just remind you, if you're not familiar with about Volunteer Florida. We are the governor's lead agency for volunteerism and national service. If you've heard of AmeriCorps, we administer large streams of federal funding for that. And then we're also the state's lead for agencies for volunteers and donations before, during, and after disasters. We really focus on fostering volunteerism around the state. Wanted to let you know, if you're a volunteer engagement leader, which I'm sure most of you are, we do have a panel. There are going to be several volunteer coordinators from around the state who are going to just talk about the experiences that they had during COVID, and then what they're doing in terms of reconnecting to in-person volunteers and virtual volunteerism. So I think it's going to be really great. I will send you all the link after this webinar in case you'd like to join us for that. That's going to be Tuesday, June 29th at 10 o'clock. So for Volunteer Connect, if you haven't already logged in, you will see here on our main page the login button in the Volunteer Connect widget right there. And that's where you're going to be able to get into your account, and that's where all of the varying features are for you to use. If you haven't already signed up for our newsletter, this is our General Volunteer Florida newsletter. There's a sign up there on our website. We'd love for you to know some of the goings on at our organization. I'm not going to go into this, I know you all know, but just remember the key terms and conditions. Please be sure in particular that you are not requesting fundraising dollars. That's the big one for us, or participating in any political or legislative activities and advertising those. Okay, so these are the several things we're going to cover. We're going to go ahead and get started. So your account, you've got plenty of features that are available to you. You log in, as I mentioned, in the Volunteer Connect widget right there. And then this is what you're going to see. We try to put up varying types of information for you, tutorials, articles, and things that may be helpful for you as you are managing your account and using Volunteer Connect. So here's your menu, all kinds of information available to you there, all kinds of features. So one of the key things I want you to know is that when you registered, you entered a mission statement. But if you want individuals to see something different when they click on your organization profile, which they can do from search, you can go to My Organization, and that's where you can edit, you can bold, you can use all kinds of formatting options to do that. So you certainly can do that there. And if you scroll down underneath My Organization, you'll see Organization Contacts. That's where you can add other people to your account. You create that organization contact, and then you just want to make sure that you request portal access, and that person will be added to your account and can access all of the features there. I'm going to go back real quickly to this page. This is what an organization profile looks like. You just want to make sure it's clean. You want to make sure your branding is appropriate for the rest of your organization, congruent with that. But you can put other links in there to varying types of information, whatever might be best for you. So creating opportunities, of course, is the main thing. So under volunteer opportunities on the left, you go in and you'll see a green button for creating an opportunity. You'll enter in your opportunity name. We'll go into scheduling and into registration type in just a minute. Just think about a couple of things when you're doing your description. What are the details that are critical for someone to know who maybe has no context for your organization? You want to share the impact of the opportunity, make sure that you have great grammar, spelling, formatting, that it's nice and clear. This kind of thing is not very helpful, obviously, and I know I'm preaching to the choir on this, but giving them enough specifics without going into too much detail so that they are drawn to your particular organization. So there are a variety of different ways that you can describe your volunteer opportunity. You'll see those there. The ones that are asterisk are the ones that are required, of course. Note the minimum age is the minimum age with adults, so be sure that you've got that correct. And these also help people with searching. So if somebody's looking for a minimum age, if they're 16 or something like that, they can search that way. They're looking for a particular impact area and so on. So again, making sure you've got that opportunity name and that description clear and appealing to somebody who's looking for an opportunity. So if you look here, this is just a quick example. I made this up, but again, with the bold, you can hyperlink things. But what's clear? I mean, what's important for that volunteer to know? So again, that's just a quick example. You'll see up in the right corner, that's where your issue area and the requirements will appear for people if they do click on the opportunity. You can add pictures if you'd like. Just make sure you're careful with too many fonts, different sizes, kind of overloading that way. That actually is overwhelming for individuals. So I'm going to talk about the schedule and registration types, and we'll also talk about being able to post virtual opportunities. So you can schedule volunteers in two ways. One is that they're date and time specific. This is when you need a certain number of volunteers, basically it's shift work. And then individually scheduled means that there's kind of a more of a flexibility there in when the volunteer comes in, or you just have a general interest in learning. They have a general interest in learning more about the volunteer opportunity, but there aren't any dates and times. So those are the two ways to schedule. and then people can register a certain way. So with those kind of shifts, that date and time specific option for registration, they can sign up. And if they do that, they are automatically confirmed. If you have 15 slots, 15 people register, they'll automatically be added to a waiting list or encouraged to look at other occurrences, which is kind of what that shift name is within this particular platform. If you do the registration type express interest, that just means they're not automatically confirmed. You can review, you can send them an application, things like that. And then you can use Volunteer Connect to confirm or decline those individuals, or you can do that outside of the platform. So you'll see here that you can schedule people regularly, you can, or schedule regularly, you can schedule just individual shifts if you'd like. You can even name that particular occurrence. So you'll see date, start and end time, and then over on the right-hand side, you can create additional occurrences. So this is just a quick example, but let's say you have 3 different Mondays, you can do different times there, you can repeat by week, you can repeat by month, things like that. So you can add all of those in there, and then volunteers can sign up, potential volunteers, for any of those occurrences that are going to appear on the public site. So you'll see here, I'll go to this one. If it does occur on a regular schedule, you'll see at the bottom the different recurrence types that are available for you. And you just want to keep in mind that if you, let's say, do every weekday for a month, all 20 of those times are going to occur individually in your occurrence grid, because these can be edited individually. So you just want to be careful with that, because all of a sudden you're going to have all of these listings, and if you need to change something, that's going to be a little cumbersome. You can always email us, and you can, and I will happily delete those for you in Salesforce, which is what we use on the admin side. So happy to take care of that. If you make any mistakes, email me vcsupport@volunteerflorida.org. That's vcsupport@volunteerflorida.org. And for any issues that you might have, feel free to email me. And yes, you can add multiple shifts for the same day. That is something that you can easily add within those occurrences. Absolutely. Good question. So this is what it would look like for someone. All of your shifts would be listed underneath that opportunity description, like the sample that I showed you. And this is a sign up one. So remember, this is the one for date and time specific scheduling. That means they are automatically confirmed. They're going to get the address for where the opportunity happens. If you want to email them with more details, you are welcome to do that. We see this a lot, during disasters when you need somebody to help with flood buckets or packing food, where you may not be screening individuals, you just want them to show up. So you'll see we do not show the address, just the city, state, and zip for where it's going to occur. The volunteers can click on that right plus, and that's where they can get that expanded and find out more information and then sign up or express interest if they'd like. So that's what it looks like. And you'll see, of course, here, the difference with the express interest button is specifically what they'll see there. So with those individually scheduled opportunities, that scheduling type, there's 2 ways people can register. They can tell you, yes, I'm interested, and here's my schedule. So that would be, you are meeting volunteers between 9 and 5, and somebody can say, well, I can be there from 10 to 1, for example. So it's not a specific time that they need to show up. They can tell you within a time frame when they're available. And I'll go into express interest in general in just a moment. So you'll see here the express interest with schedule. There's a need during these particular time periods, every Monday from this time to this time, every Monday, every Friday through, this was last couple years ago, November 29th, 2019. So they could have maybe multiple Mondays if they're interested, and they can select a specific time and date, kind of enter in all kinds of information to help you know when they're available, and then you can contact them about what would work best for your organization and what works best for them. This is the one that I really encourage people, if you're wanting something quick and easy for using Volunteer Connect. This is that individually scheduled opportunity where you express interest only. This is when you just share about your organization, that maybe the varying volunteer opportunities you have or a specific opportunity, and somebody says express interest, they get an automated email that just says, great, we'll be in touch. So there's no date or time, just the length of time you want volunteers through. So you could put December 31st, 2021 if you wanted, and then you just leave this opportunity up. You will get an automated email anytime somebody expresses interest, so you know that that person is interested. So this is a great, very easy way for you to put your information out there, not doing shifts or anything, but being able to manage your scheduling and all of that either through Volunteer Connect or kind of outside if you have another way that you organize your volunteers. So strongly encourage you to post an individually scheduled opportunity, express interest only. So on the left-hand side, you'll see you can go back to volunteer opportunities, and this is where all of your opportunities are listed. You can, of course, filter those opportunities. You'll see the headings there, and then the names of each of your opportunities. When you click on one of your opportunities, you'll see here after you've created it that you can edit that opportunity, or you can view the volunteer opportunity on the public site. So this is great because then you can see what it's going to look like. I suggest right-clicking on it and open it in a new page, and that way you can toggle between the two tabs and kind of see if you edit something, what it looks like. You can just refresh it on that other tab. If you have a location, you just want to be sure if you change that location that you also change it in your occurrences or your shifts, because the locations can be changed at that shift level. So that 9 to 1 on a Monday, you can go in specifically to that one if location changes, but it won't change every single occurrence of that particular opportunity for you. But it's great that you can look at what it looks like on the public site. So real quickly, just want to go into creating a virtual opportunity. You would do things the same way. Certainly for virtual, a lot of it ends up being that individually scheduled schedule type and that express interest registration type where people obviously can just kind of do this whenever they want. So you'll see when you get to the location button, you can click that magnifying glass, and this is whether you have a physical location or not, but you'll see all of your locations that you've already used pop up. And you'll see I wrote, a location name that's kind of general for my virtual opportunities, benefiting the Tallahassee area or the comfort of your own home, something that helps people kind of connect to the fact that it is virtual. You don't want to confuse people necessarily by putting a specific location on there unless they're going to be bringing something to that location. When you want to do that virtual location, if you don't have one already listed, you can add that as the next step. You'll see location type during the next step. You'll just put in virtual, you'll put in a location name. You can add some special directions if you want to do that. And this is what it looks like. So let's say you wanted people to be making phone calls and you wanted them to, happen during a certain time because that's what's most appropriate for making phone calls, for example. Then you'll see here what it looks like, and that person can sign up or express interest however you wanted them to register based on the schedule types and registration types. And certainly they will receive, they will have indication on the, under search, sorry about that, when they actually look at the opportunity, it does say virtual. So they'll certainly know that that's what it is. When you have finished your opportunity and you look at it on the public site, you can hyperlink to that opportunity, copy and paste the URL, put it in your newsletters, you can put it on social, if you have an electronic newsletter, things like that. So that was just a thought for you all. So with management, when you go back into that opportunity under virtual opportunities, you can scroll down and you'll see anybody who has registered. You can do attendance through this or not. You can email all your volunteers. You can sort who your volunteers are, the shifts that they've registered for, if that's applicable. You can email your volunteers. You'll see some merge fields that'll automatically enter in your organization and some other things. You can, of course, delete those. just make sure you CC yourself so you get a chance to see what the email is as well. But a number of things there under connections when you go back into your opportunity. And then with attendance, you know, you have some people who really want to have confirmation of their hours. If you approve their hours or their shift, it's going to appear in their volunteer account, which is really great. And so they'll be able to print out something that says that the actual organization approved the particular attendance. And you can just change the hours. You don't have to change the shift times if you don't want to, but you can click on the person's name, and then you'll go into the detail for that particular opportunity for that individual, which is really great. I do want to point out contacts on the left-hand side first. That's anybody who's ever registered with your organization for an opportunity. You cannot add new contacts in. They have to connect to you through registering for one of your opportunities. But once they're in there, you've got a list there. And down below, you'll see reports. And there are a number of different reports that you can pull, and then you can actually download those as a CSV file, which is basically a spreadsheet. And then you have that information. And I'll point out volunteers and connections, the searchable one down there with the arrow. And with that one, you can see all the volunteers who've ever registered and all of the opportunities that they've registered for. This is a great way for you to just get all the email addresses for a particular opportunity or for anybody who's registered with you before. You can cut and paste those from Excel and then shoot an email out with more information or thanking your volunteers, or just so you have a database of individuals to pull from. So all the information essentially that's on Volunteer Connect, you can pull a report for, and then you'll have that outside of the platform for you. So you'll see over there again on the side, the report attendance, contacts. You can go in and edit your locations if you want. Just know that if you edit them, it edits the previous ones that you have used that location for. So it's better to just add a location if you want, unless you want that location changed for everything. And it'll warn you about that. But I do encourage you to kind of play around with things before posting them. You can always just cancel a volunteer opportunity or go back. If you ever have questions about canceling an opportunity, you're in the middle of doing one, so on, I've got a couple of different email addresses that I do check VC support very regularly. And you are welcome to send me an email. I can remove things for you, cancel things, answer any questions that you might have. You know, if there's things you'd like to see on the site that would help you, please let us know. We're always trying to improve it. We're also always trying to publicize Volunteer Connect. So that's an ongoing thing, is making sure that Floridians know that this is a source for service for them. We know a lot of you all post on Volunteer Match or other local platforms that you have, and we always think the way that we consider or view Volunteer Connect is that it's more visibility, more volunteers. So this is almost like having another radio station that you are sharing your information on. So we hope that at minimum you'll do one of those express interest, kind of general express interest posts, so that people are aware. You don't have to do much administration with that. You'll get that automated email if somebody registers and has a general interest in your opportunity. But VC support at volunteerflorida.org. Email me if you have questions. Email me if you just want to know more about Volunteer Connect. We've got plenty of information on our site, but I really appreciate you all taking the time today to be with me, and I really am excited about your opportunity to use Volunteer Connect, and I know it will be beneficial to your organization. Thank you so much for that compliment. I really appreciate it. And yeah, please let me know if I can help you all in any way. And I think we are finished up, and I hope you all have a great rest of the week. Take care.